because we are live right now and invite the world to this party we have going on.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess it'll be a party. Depends. Joe's drinking water, and Matt, I thought, had celery.
Always a party when the bros is anywhere the bros are at. It's a party.
That's true.
And then we got Matt the Crypt in the bottom right corner tonight. We're all moving places.
I'm doing double duty tonight because we're missing one Josh Zuby's Brickus.
Ah,
so
that's
I'll have
true.
to be really agitated and.
Can you correct everyone on their grammar tonight?
Yes.
All right. Then we have Joe Kimson in the top left corner.
Greetings and thanks for tuning into beautiful Behind the Bunker tonight. COVID-19, and we're in day 22 of our self-isolation lockdown, if you will, here in Canada.
Now COVID approved. COVID isolation approved.
We need a patch that says COVID approved, like a check mark.
And then we've got two fresh faces on the top right corner of the screen. Who the heck are you guys?
I'm Energy One, the Death Card.
And I'm Bricktop, the Immortal.
That's my brother, Bricktop, the Immortal.
Okay, did you guys have to, now, I'm not sure what state you guys are living in. I know you mentioned before, but do you have to pay extra for every name that you put on your birth certificate there?
Nah. You know what I'm saying? I think you get up to like a 12-name slot.
Okay, because like the Death Card, that's like 3 names right there.
Right. Energy One.
But they really don't count
Yeah, and they don't count numbers either. They let me get away with the numbers.
Right.
So I play Energy One, the Loon Kings.
Okay.
The letters, the anagrams.
So when y'all moved to America, y'all could change your name.
So whatever you want.
Like Todd behind the bunker. You know what I mean? Like,
Does your Visa card open up so all your names can fit across it?
Well, it's implanted in her hand.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool.
You guys didn't catch up yet?
Yeah.
No, we're not
telling
there
y'all
yet.
for the future.
Fingertips. Pretty soon you guys are going to get the phone planted into your hand so you can answer the phone like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're still going to have to receive the calls, the call out, but you can be like, hey,
I actually have a moccasin phone. So
actually,
this is my Tiger King moccasin phone, so it matches my coat.
That's like kind of retroactive.
It's like kind of Inspector Gadget.
It is.
Smart. Get smart.
Right. Maxwell Smart. Yeah.
Yeah. When you update it, you don't have the heel that turns. You just pick it up and put it in your ear.
No, mine's
is that a touchscreen moccasin?
Mine is a touchscreen moccasin. The first generation one's actually the heel portion turn, but this is actually a second generation touchscreen moccasins.
Didn't you get in trouble for touching moccasins?
Well, it depends where you are. Hey.
So what's the big thing in Canada? I mean, I know exactly what's going on with the quarantine. It's like
the tundra?
different quarantines in the States. So Canada, is it like that? Because it's their provinces.
We're kind of on the honor system.
Oh, okay.
You guys. Fucking guys.
Just
but it's true. Todd he's correct. We don't have the army marching around forcing people back in their homes, right? It's like
you don't have that neither.
I'm not saying you do.
Then why'd you mention the army?
Why do you just keep up?
Martial law?
No,
it's not called martial law. It's called maple syrup law.
That's right.
Okay.
And there's a lot of
Mountie law.
Mountie law. Is it really called Mountie law?
No, I just made that up because it sounded like Marshall, U.S. Marshal.
It sounds cool as hell.
Yeah. There's a bunch of guys in red jackets walking around.
Right.
Politely asking us to go home.
The big brim hats.
Get back in the house, eh?
Pulling up on the moose.
It's could you please get back in the house? Yeah. Hey, so tonight, guys, we're going to be talking with the Command Bros. Saturday night, we're going to be doing another live quarantine show, and that's going to be with John Almeida, and he is from Paintball Media. He's the gentleman that's putting together the History of Paintball documentary, which is going to air next Monday, 1 week from today. And why that's important, because you guys should watch it. It starts at noon. You guys can start downloading it as early as noon. And everyone in the studio tonight will be watching it. And then next week, we're going to do a live kind of a breakdown of what we saw, as well as we're going to have Simon Stevens with us in the live studio. So if you guys are at all interested in what happened in the history of our sport, apparently there's a couple of misconceptions that will be cleared up as well. So very curious to see what happens.
What are the misconceptions?
Well, you guys can see into the future, but you can't see into the past, can you?
No.
Yeah.
You guys put on your conception,
work like that.
Put on your conception cam.
It's sort of like, you know how the car was made and when it was made, but you don't know exactly how it was made. You feel me?
Right.
So it's sort of like that.
Oh, that's Easter Bunny shit.
So we're gonna learn like the actual first game, where it took place, all that sort of stuff, and sort of the history of everything that's going on. So yeah, actually,
it's New Hampshire.
We
Nice
heard it was
try.
in Egypt actually back in 2000.
It's what, 4000 BC?
Yeah, something like that.
But they used cat feces because it was a revered animal, right?
Right.
They were hardcore.
I think it was more. What I think it was scarab dung.
Yeah,
They were
scared. That was because of the wiping. You know what I mean? Like,
and it was always like perfect little balls, so they didn't have to do much. They just picked them up.
Actually, they flung locusts at people.
Right, exactly.
Isn't that your pet name from your lady friend? Perfect little. Anyways,
Locust?
perfect little balls. There we go.
oh wow, ding!
Where's your bell tonight?
It's not our show. We almost had to go.
I think you guys have had more speaking time than anybody else. I think it is your show tonight.
Oh well, then let's interview these guys.
Well, if it's our show, first things first, we need to shout everybody
Yeah, we need
out.
to do a roll call.
We
It's
need a
our
roll
show.
call. It's our show.
Where's the microphone? Where's the microphone?
Got the microphone? You know what time it is. It's shout out time on Behind the Bunker. We got some music. Yeah, who's up in the house today? We got Joe Kempson in the house. We got Rampage, Richie Santos in the house. We got, who else we got up in this joint? We got Tracy Santos in the house.
What's up, Tracy?
George Hayes in the house.
Georgie's in the house.
Lisa Weber in the house. Where's my glasses? Who else is up in this? Ryan Russell's in the house.
Ryan, welcome.
Yeah. If you guys are going to shout out to George Hay, by the way, his proper name is Hay.
George Hayes in the house. You know what I'm saying? We got Ton and Six in the house. Ryan
Sorry, George.
Jones is in the house. Eric Parks is in the house.
We got the whole Behind the Bunker
In the house.
This could go on for
That's
20
right.
minutes.
Archangel, Arch Nemesis. Oh man, is in the house. Michael Florina is in the house. Lindell Mann is in the house. Richard Knott is in the house. Who else is up in this? Craig Canterman is in the house.
This is
Tucker
more of a
Danielson
condominium.
is in the house. Can't read the recipe.
Is the roof on fire?
Dan Schwartz
It's in
made
the
us Scarface.
house.
You Scarface.
Yeah, we see my boy George Hay again. Who else up in this joint? I think that's about it, man.
They got
Very good.
7-4.
Lee Williams is
Lee
in the
Williams
house.
in his house.
Dannon Hardy is
That's the
in
Fox
the
Days in the
house. Who else we got? Gavin Sharma is in the house. Desi Blackbeard Johnson is in the house.
Modern Day Pirates is deep,
Wolf
definitely in the
Critchlow.
house.
Ooh, he's in the house. It's a packed joint up in here. 72
Real
people.
shit.
It's going down.
Going
Jason
down
Bryant's in
tonight.
the house. Martha Day's in the house. Wes Shockley is in the house. Who else is up in here? Galimero
Brown's in the
Navas
house.
is in the house. The fabulous Vicky Brown is in the house. Who else is up in this joint? There's too many people.
You about to overload on people up in the
Oh,
house.
there's some of these repeats.
Lee Williams says, Todd, you brought it upon yourself.
Wayne King is
Yes,
in the
I think we
house.
did.
Shane Bonnell is in the house.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you
And
give a
that's all the
shout
time
out?
we have for tonight.
Can you guys give one last shout out to Sexual Chocolate?
Oh, hold up.
Sexual chocolate in the house. Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
In the house.
Great. That boy is good.
Good and terrible.
Good for you. Just let your soul glow, guys. Hey, when does that come out?
And you know a lot about Coming to America, Todd.
Well, yeah. I was West Philly born and raised, actually.
All right, so behind the bunker.
I do it just to see Matt's head shake at this point. So we have Command Bros. We have you guys in the house. Let's talk about the Command Bros. We have you guys. You guys have been around paintball for a number of years. You guys have a weekly show. What day of the week do you guys do it on? I know it's a lunchtime.
12 o'clock on Wednesdays. Drinking with the bros.
Was it something I said, guys?
Oh, no.
It's Musical Bros.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah, 12 o'clock Wednesdays, Drinking with the Bros, Command Bro Paintball Media. We've been doing it now for about, 3 years? How long have we been doing the show? Yeah, we've been doing the show about 3 years.
Yeah. Now,
we got to hook the battery up to the computer.
Now, your other fellow there was at Flagger's Paintball. You chose not to come.
Who, me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's because I was having technical difficulty with the passport. Economical difficulty with the passport.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not that I got any felons. You know what I mean? Because, right when an American says he can't come to Canada, first thing that come out the mouth is, oh, he got felons.
Hey, who am I to judge?
There ain't no lawyers that watch this show.
We've been doing our show for about 3 years.
Yeah. You guys actually inspired us to start the show.
Right, exactly.
Well, you guys are like the wind beneath our wings.
What'd you say?
I said you guys are like the wind beneath our wings. We may have inspired you, but nothing.
Oh, okay.
It's like a slow dance.
We're the wind beneath the wings. Okay, I wasn't taking that far though, but I can see how we all inspire each other.
Right.
Yes.
You guys are wins. Also.
I certainly appreciate you guys on every Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon. As I sit with my sad desk lunch and I watch the bros, and it certainly lifts my spirits. You guys are talking everything about paintball and everything other than paintball as well. I mean, it's a jam-packed show, right?
I think that's what makes our show a little bit more special than most paintball shows, is the fact that we talk about everything, basically whatever comes across our mind. And it's not just because, it's like we don't like paintball. We love paintball. It's just that, we're seasoned gentlemen, and we understand that paintball is, sort of a catalyst for things that we like to do, but there's so much more that everybody's connected to through paintball.
Right.
So, you never really get to talk about different things, different topics. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're uncomfortable, sometimes they're fact-finding, you know what I'm saying? And it's always just to start, for somebody to think, maybe look something up,
right.
You know what I mean? Get a little closer, find a common ground. Anything could be the situation. So, either way. And it also gives us, it's almost like Seinfeld, a show that about nothing.
Right. Our show's absolutely about nothing. We find our topic, but when he drops that picture of what the show's about to be about, that's when we did the topic.
Yeah, when we put out, what we're about to do the show, what's going to happen, that's basically when we think about it.
Right.
So,
and what I appreciate about your show is about half an hour of the show is just shout outs.
You know what? That's the Command Bro formula.
That's the draw to the show. Everybody wants to hear their name.
But that I think that was that was an accident. I think it was an accident. But it is part of the formula overall when we started paintballing, like when we started actually doing our shows and like making our little videos. It was always about everybody.
Right.
It wasn't just about us winning or dominating. Of course, you put your little plugs in there and look what I did. But everybody wants to be acknowledged for being in the game. So we just sort of transferred from the field onto the show.
And then when we started, we were only getting like 3 or 4 people, so we were shouting them out. We was happy to have 3 or 4 people.
It was like
Mom,
an accident.
Devin Schwartz, Steve Ferguson, Steve motherfucking Ferguson and shit. That was like
3 people.
The 3 first Command Bros that followed us.
Yeah, so we just went with it, and then it just started.
Then the mic came, and then the music came, and then it became the beginning of the show.
But without like your platform, we wouldn't have had a model to build on. You know what I mean? So like behind the bunker is if you had to have levels, you know what I'm saying, or where you want your show to be, it'll be like behind the bunker. You're the most professional. You know what I'm saying? You have the most reputation, esteem, you know what you're talking about, this, that, and the other. That's and you're a good scapegoat for us because we don't have to talk about so much paintball because you guys cover a lot of that.
You cover everything.
Yeah, but there's times too where there's not a lot of paintball. Case in point right now. I mean, we get into talking about Netflix every once in a while because things get dry, and I mean, everyone out there has commonalities outside of paintball too, right? So it is what it is, but I mean, we weren't the first ones to do this. I mean, there were always guys out there doing stuff that we're doing right now, but with the technology that's out there, I mean, it's easy. Anyone can put together a paintball show, and we're not the most interesting people out there. I'm sure there's other people as well, but it's just doing the legwork. You know, we've had a lot of opportunities in the past to talk to manufacturers and players and suppliers, and you know, we've done a lot for the support. But you know, on the same token, it's you know, our formula is nothing. You know, there's nothing earth shattering about what we do.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that you guys had like, you know, groundbreaking technology.
Real shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Like your audio don't mess up neither. You know what I mean?
But like for us, like we're relatively new in paintball.
Right. We've only been doing this for 5 years.
Yep.
6 years. Six at the most.
All right, 6 years. So you have to look at it from the standpoint for when we got into the sport, it was relatively a different sport. It was changing from what we understand. You know what I'm saying? It was a different type because there was a big feud. You know what I'm saying? Paintball's not the same anymore. It's this, that, and the other.
Paintball's dying.
Yeah. So like, even if there were platforms before yours, we never really seen them.
Yeah.
So like, it was established to be like, this is the norm. This is where you want to get to.
Right.
All right. Such and such. And this is even before we like really thought about doing our own show.
Because I just used to send you guys videos.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you supported us, you know, this,
Right.
that, and the other. And as we, you know, escalated, it wasn't anything that you did negative towards Command Bro. You always supported us. So, you know, it was the model. You know what I mean? So it's a great thing.
So let's back up a little bit, though. So with your wildly successful show, how did you get into paintball? Like, what got you into shooting people and not going to jail?
Basically,
life.
Yeah. No, for real. We a lot of people know this story, but a lot of people don't. So
tell the story.
We were security guards at a hotel, and we were getting all fat and sloppy for real. Because if you're a security guard, you know it's hours upon hours of boredom
with 10 minutes of excitement.
Yeah, 10 minutes of excitement. Maybe you got to throw somebody out, or you know, some have some prostitutes up in the floor.
I miss those days.
Yeah, prostitute bus.
Well, you can still order them.
Like a good prostitute bus in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Remember the one dude? He was getting all loud.
Oh man, just totally disrespected energy. He kept his cool. When the police got there, he became so humble.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did disrespect him. I did talk to him dirty. I was like,
but I suggested to him that we play paintball.
Right.
And I told him, like, man, there's tanks, there's rocket launchers. You know how you go through your paintball stories to your friends who've never played, and they're like, that shit don't exist.
See, he played in D.C., you know what I'm saying? And I really never fucked with it. I heard about paintball, but it was like, you know, from the movies.
Gotcha.
It really wasn't a reality for me. And
right.
then when we were sitting around, and I was like, yo, we need to do something for real, because we're getting terrible. And we go to the gym, but the gym only lasts for like, you know, a couple weeks. Now, one day that you miss, it's a wrap. You're right back on the Hoagie Express.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not McDonald's all day. So he was like, yo, let's go play some paintball. And I was like, paintball? What? He was like, no, I'm telling you, they got tanks, rocket launchers, and all this. I mean, he made it sound so exciting. I was like, no, it can't be. So one day we took some little kids.
To go paintball. Right.
Yeah, we talk about how many.
That was like a little rec game. We was doing a program. We were teaching kids to play chess, garden, and paintball.
Right. So we take them out to go paintball. And man, I had so much fun killing these little kids. I mean, I'm just whacking them up. Ooh, this is lovely. And then he was like, you gotta play a scenario. You gotta play a scenario game. And I was like, scenario? And they said, that's where the tanks, rocket launchers and shit, niggas dope. Man, they be dressed up in fatigues and this, that, and the other. So now I'm online looking for paintball weapons. My first guy come back. I'm like, yo, what about this? He's like, nah, you know what? It was a Chronos.
Yeah, he wanted to get a Chronos. I was like, nah,
you don't want that Chronos. I was like, this is hot. He was like, nah, they got ones that look like real straps. So that's when I got the
salvo.
Yeah, the salvo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then I found out you could put it in fully auto. Woo-hoo! Yo. You know the feeling. Every person that went out there knows the feeling. I don't care if it's speedball, milsim, I don't care. You know the feeling. I mean, you just like, yo, I watched this all my life, but it was Arnold Schwarzenegger or Rambo, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm in the game. And it was exciting. We went to play Bad Days at Three Rivers Paintball. Oh yeah.
And Smiley was the jitter on. He walked up to us and we got our gear on, all Mar padded out. He was like, I want you guys to run special forces today. I was like, bet. He walked away. He looked at me like, man, what the hell are we into? What the hell is special forces?
What is going on, man? This is like my first scenario game.
Right.
It basically means he's going to use
it was
you.
a D-Day scenario, so we had to do the boat and all that.
Yeah, right. So, I get out there, my gun wouldn't work. So they gave me a gun that was the same. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of your first kill streak.
Man, it was like I was a kid again. You know what I'm saying? In the woods, playing with your friends. We played with BB guns. But, all those little experiences came right back. And it was just like, and these kids really didn't know how to play in the woods.
Yeah,
they didn't know how to play in the woods.
Somebody suggested ion, and it was a wrap.
Oh, man. And just to see somebody, you're just peppering somebody from a distance, and they're like, it's like, there's nothing like it. And from there,
orgasmic.
It was on. And, when we were like, we're going to make videos. Remember, we were going to
we was going to make videos, put explosions in them. Then we played ion. We was like, we don't need to add anything.
Yeah, it was just so, realistic.
Right.
So we just kept doing it. And then we just kept doing it. And then we started meeting different people. And, they had so much different characters. And, so we were like, yo, everybody should see this shit. Because nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
Nobody cares. And I got into the paintball fever. You know what that is. When you first start playing paintball, this, that, and you can't shut up about paintball.
Can't stop talking about it.
You're constantly telling everybody about paintball, how fantastic paintball. You thinking that they're like, oh, yeah, that's just gravy, but really they're on some old like, man, shut the fuck
nerd. All my boys in D.C. be like, you're a nerd.
Yeah,
it's like, look, you got to come out there and play. Targets don't shoot back.
Right.
We got friends that shoot real steel, and their whole thing is like, oh, man, I'm shooting real steel.
We try to get
targets don't shoot back.
We try to get everybody to join the Command Bros. Nobody wanted to play with us, like some kids outside the field by yourself.
That's
you guys want to come? We got everything. Don't worry. Come on. You're like, nah.
That's where What Do You Do came from.
Yeah.
Because people started saying, oh, y'all got too much time on your hands. Yeah, y'all playing paintball. Y'all need to get another job.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Like, what do you do?
Like, what do you do and shit?
And then they stop. Like, no, what do you do? Not where you work at. What do you do? For yourself, for your own experience, what do you do? And it's just like, I don't know. Sit at home, drinking. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the wall.
Not wanting to be around your wife.
What the fuck do you do? And then it just kept going, and then we just kept moving. Then we got into reffing.
Right.
That was a blast because we're all inclusive. So we made the games, our reffing games are pretty much like our show.
Yeah.
We make you feel like you're playing Call of Duty. When you play with the Command Bros, and if we're the refs, we have megaphones and we're yelling at you.
I'm throwing smoke. I'm moving the crowd.
But we make it sound really, really cool. Like, like you're in a video game. Like, if you get that shot, you get the evil laugh. You get the, I remember, what's the one game? I was just doing it all day.
Wolfenstein?
No. Mortal Kombat.
Not
Tetris.
Mortal Kombat. The other one.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. You know how you be like, double combo, ultra combo. Imagine you getting that when you made 3 kills.
Right.
And you're like,
and then we started reffing, and we went to a park to help a guy out, and we were getting like 60 walk-ons. So we would split them up, 30 versus 30. And we were actually fighting each other, just using the walk-ons as our army. And he didn't realize that at first. He thought that was regular. I was like, no, most refs take out 15 people and split them in half.
I didn't know that. I thought we were 60 people. All right, come on, let's go. Remember that one game? We have it on video. I'm standing by my team. There's a group of people, and people just keep going up the hill, keep going up the hill, keep going up the hill, keep going up. And the guys next to me was like, are we playing them? Like, yeah, that's the other team, man. It was like 30 people running up on the hill. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our squad. And then we'll get you in the back.
We'll make you name yourself.
Yeah, give you a name.
You got to name your team. If not, we'll give you a name. You don't want us to give you a name.
Yeah.
And then you'll have that name the entire game. He'll run through. You want to give him a little how we start our games?
Now, what field are you guys doing this at?
Right now, it'll be Urban Assault.
Urban Assault.
But, because of everything that was going, we haven't been there in a while. So we did it at all the fields that we're at right now is Urban Assault. But we'll give you like this is a team deathmatch. But check. This is how it goes. I don't even know if this is on. Check. It'll be like, this is a team deathmatch event. If you are shot, return to your base and prepare for the game to end. Blue team, are you ready?
And they'll scream, ah!
Red team, are you ready? Then survive. And they'll be like, ah! And you shoot somebody like, nice shot. Double combo, ultra combo. They'll be like going crazy and whatnot. And that's all
We turned grandmothers into killers.
Oh man! At the end of the day, they're just eating each other up. Like, oh snap! I love this game, and then they always come back. They always come back because they want to feel that energy. We turn people from like mices into beasts.
I've been to nightclubs with less energy than that.
You should see us at a nightclub.
Yeah.
We go to EMR and come to Diamond Club.
Yeah, the
Diamond Club.
Gentlemen, put your hands together.
Sire.
So, you know, come out. Are you ready? Shake your wallets. But yeah, like paintball was something that I didn't really think that could be possible, honestly. You know, just the dynamics, the way that you have multiple cultures that come together.
Right.
You get to experience people for what they really are. You know, you can drink with them, talk to them, hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? You just have a full
we have more political conversations at paintball games than we do in anything else we do.
Yes, I mean it's not even that. So just hanging out with people, you know what I'm saying, meeting different people, different families, you know.
And you're only seeing these people like once or twice a year, so when you do see them the next time, it makes it so much better. Like, oh man, I ain't seen you in a while.
And the age ratio, at least in Milton, the age ratio is incredible. You know what I'm saying? You can meet people from. Remember the old lady? She was in her 70s.
In her 70s.
Oh, man, this little lady, man. I swear, she was fully fatigued. You know what I'm saying? She had on her old linen outfit. She had her tank on her back, and she had to be every bit of like maybe 70 something.
Had eye
on, and she's walking with her gun. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's just going back to the base after she just killed 30 people or something.
Right.
And then I just stopped and seeing this. I was like, oh my God. Were you just out there, ma'am? She was like, yeah. And then she started giving me a layout. They're coming through the right part. It says, like, man, bless your heart. You know
he was like, can I hug you?
Yeah.
Gave her a hug.
Did you give her a...
I tell people, paintball is the only sport that 3 generations of the family can play at the same time. Grandparents, parents, kids can all be out there at this. Only sport that you can do that in. You know what I mean?
I've never really can say that I had a bad experience at paintball.
Even when it rained. Never had a bad experience.
Yeah. So you guys, you talked about the markers you guys have. Are you playing any bit of, you know, you're definitely into the milsim sort of style play. Are you getting into MagFed at all, or does it matter to you?
I am.
He's more into MagFed. I'm more into Space Gun.
I am. I definitely am getting into MagFed, like a lot. You know what I'm saying? I do like it, but at the same time, I'm not going to give up my hoppers. I don't believe in just, I'm strictly MagFed. I believe in the tool for the job.
Right.
So if I go to a game, I'm bringing a hopper and a MagFed just in case. You know what I'm saying? If I feel I'm at a disadvantage in the field, I will change up to fix that. So, but I really do love MagFed and just what it brings to the table of the realism and the timing,
and the
skill. You know what I mean? Like I would use MagFed more in the smaller games. Since I play in a lot of big games, it calls for 200 rounds in my hopper. It does.
Right.
Yeah, especially
like Ion. Remember you went on Ion on the beach with the MagFed?
Yeah, that was the worst thing I could have ever done.
Have you guys ever been to Ion?
No,
we've been to skirmish and then walked the field and stuff on, but we've never played.
You've never come out the boat.
Well,
no.
If you have a MagFed weapon and Ion, the best time to use that
is after the beach.
When you're in the woods, when you're hunting somebody, don't even bring it out on the beach. I wasn't even like on the beach. I was in the tree behind the beach, and I had like my little MagFed Milsig, and it was just a waste of time, honestly, because. Number one, I was so far back, if you're not on the beach.
Right, and they never broke through that line. So his MagFed was
it didn't
do anything.
And you couldn't shoot first strike, so it was obsolete. And then if you did move up to the beach, it was
so much
5,000 paintballs a second flying at you by the time you even try to square it.
Those big games are a blast and it's fun, but when you've got that much paint in the air and that many guys playing, you need a space gun or you need the opposite. You need a pump gun with lots of paint so you can stay out there for hours. And normally those big brawls last about 45 minutes to an hour, 15, and then it sort of dissipates. Then you start finally getting some pushes. But yeah, I mean, if you're out there with a MagFed gun, I'm not being disrespectful, but you're so outgunned. And you can say even if you're a skilled
you're
shot,
non-essential.
You're non-essential. And it's too bad to say that, but and even with a pump, you kind of are. But at least with a pump, you're conserving and you're gonna be out there longer.
Right, and you have the ammo. Like you have the ammo in just one hopper that I would have on my entire body with magazines.
Yeah.
That's just the reality.
You'll have that in one pod.
That's what I'm saying. In one hopper, just your hopper.
And then what are you running for a space gun then?
I don't run a space gun. You know what I'm saying? I run a Phenom.
I run the Empire 6.
Right. There you go.
I run a Phenom.
And how do you like that?
Empire 6.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So I like just laying down paint on line. 'Cause I like playing speedball too. You know what I mean? I was just at Vegas NXL for their whole competition. And I was there. So I worked the pit at the 10-man game on Sunday.
Weren't you on Dynasty's roster?
No, I was on whose roster I was on? I was on the Clowns roster.
That about right.
Yeah, it's about
You're a clown.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
But and that was my first NXL event. And that was very exciting, all the way down to the fight that Tom talked about. I was actually right there at that fight. You know what I mean? So
I like how you instigated it and didn't get into trouble. Good for you.
I screamed World Star. You know what I mean? Like, you might be able to hear me in the video. If you watch the video for like 3 seconds a minute. You know what I mean? So
nice.
Right on the right side, I'm like, World Star. It was a great time.
I was out of earshot, but I was yelling Jerry.
I like listening to speedball. That's about it.
I like when Reynolds sees speedballers play, because they always think, "Are we going against those guys?" We mess with like, "Yeah, we're going to play them next."
I like watching it from time to time. You know what I'm saying? When the boys know what they're doing. But most of all, playing it's not a sport for me. Yeah. It's too much running.
It's great, but it's a little repetitive. At least when you're playing on the scenario field, you've got missions, objectives. The guys playing against you are always doing something different, so you're kind of able to take different sides of the field. Right.
And let's face it, I'm old. I don't have the same speed anymore. Right?
You're right.
Or the desire to be shot up 15 times.
True. I usually play home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, and that's another thing that turned me off. Like when we first started, you know, what I mean, it was in the speedball world because I didn't know anything about the Nielsen. And I was with D3 and
but DZ All Stars.
DZ All Stars. Yeah.
Right.
And like they would have like energy, go for the snake. Like, I don't want to run for the snake. I don't want to crawl. They're telling me that's where you need to be at on the snake. And you're the fast one. I'm like, no.
Not all brothers is fast.
I mean, I am, but I'm old. You know what I mean? I don't be jumping on the ground every 5 minutes. I don't even slide in at all. You know what I mean? I run to a spot, I slowly get down.
Hey, just walk her up to the side, and he kneels down.
I'll be sliding in there.
Let's take a minute here real quick to recognize all the guys watching the show. I want to give a shout out to Steven. He's watching all the way. He says he's hunkering down in Australia. Nice to see Brent Davis in the live chat, Lisa Weber, Lee Williams. We're going to try to watch your comments. They are going pretty quick. Lee Williams enjoyed your World Star. That was great. Can we tell you guys about something that's pretty important to us?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you know that Planet Eclipse guys are the creators of the most incredible tournament paintball markers, soft goods, and gear? They have the winningest paintball markers in paintball and now innovators in mechanical actions, including the M170R and the MG100 MagFed Marvel. Check them out.
Enola Gay is the world's leading manufacturer of smoke grenades, thunderflash, airsoft, and paintball grenades for use in theater, film, photography, and, of course, paintball. Pull a tab at your next event. #PopSmoke.
And Arabs are proudly made in the US of A. Their thick welded seam, stainless steel hardware, multiple color options, and layouts are available. 2020 fields are shipping now. Ask for full color printing and custom logo options. Customize your next field with Arabs.
Ruthless Paintball Products caters to both professional players and weekend warriors. They have set a new level of playing apparel. You can head on over to their website and use our BTP15 promo code for 15% off their products.
And more than just swabs and pads, Exalt is a way of life. Available at discerning retailers, field shops, and shows. Tournament ready, battle proven, Exalt.
In the beginning, you fall out of a tree, you stumble down a rocky cliff, you wade chest deep through a mosquito-infested bog, and you realize you're surrounded. It's party time. You own a Tippmann. Now combine Empire, JT, Tippmann, and V-Force, and you get the world's largest distributor of everything paintball, GI Sports.
DLX Technology, guys, is the manufacturer of the Lux paintball marker as well as other great product lines like the SP Shocker, the GOG Enemy, and the Freak Barrel Kits, just to name a few. They are a longtime paintball manufacturer, and they've got the gear and the product that you guys can trust. And the product is outstanding. Check them out at your local retailer. That's DLX Technologies.
For over 50 years, Altama has proudly carried militaries from across the globe through every challenging environment, including malls, jungles, deserts, and urban battles. So make Altama your next paintball, airsoft, or everyday shoot. Look for Altama Original SWAT and First Tactical at a leading retailer near you.
So the rumor is that not all windows wear black, but with advanced colorways and coatings, adjustable regulators, remote lines, fill stations, hydro testing, and more, Ninja products have what it takes to keep you out front and always in the game. Also, they're made in America.
There you go. So thank you to our sponsors, guys. If it wasn't for them, we would not be on the show, and we would not be graced with the presence of the Command Bros TV guys. You guys can check them out every Wednesday starting at noon-ish.
Now, is that Eastern or is that...
Eastern time.
Noon Eastern time.
So if I'm in Pacific time, what is that?
Huh?
If I'm in Pacific time, but I'm watching in the East Coast, what time would that be?
Not mistaken, like 8?
I don't know.
Yes, it would be.
It would be 8 o'clock.
We do have a question in the live chat. They want to know if what time is it
wrong,
if they're
man.
in Australia.
What?
What time is your show if they want to watch in Australia?
So it's 15 hours ahead, Eastern time. So
It's currently 10:37 a.m. in Sydney right now.
So it'd be like
hours ahead.
it'd be like
would be
like 4 o'clock.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Tuesday?
On Thursday.
I'm just surprised they watch us in Australia.
Real shit. And they watch us in South Africa.
South Africa too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I get the London and all that because we know a bunch of people over there. But that we got them in Australia. Good day, mate.
That's awesome.
Now you had fans in Australia; they're all gone now.
Right.
Right. Did they say they don't say that?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So what?
I broke down about a week ago. There was nothing on TV. It was late at night, and I started watching Crocodile Dundee. It took me 4 nights to get through it. But that's back when a movie was still 2 hours. But what a horrible movie that was.
Yeah, he said 4 nights to get through it. That was funny.
4 nights.
Well, I can't sit down and watch a 2-hour movie. So yeah.
You have nothing to do right now.
Right.
Why can't you watch?
I got lots to do.
Movie?
I got lots to do. What are you guys doing on your? Are you guys working right now? Are you essential, non-essential?
No, paintball's over, so I guess I'm non-essential.
Right. I was in the food industry, so we're really non-essential right now.
Yeah, I am completely dedicated to the game.
So what do you do? Okay, so what is a day like for you guys?
Huh?
Honestly,
what is a day like for you guys?
Honestly, I wake up, you know what I mean?
Roll up.
Like 7 a.m., 6:30?
Yeah, about 7.
Yeah.
I get up about 7. I got kids, so, they're up, I'm up. You know what I mean? I wake up, get something to eat. Play Star Trek Online.
Yeah, he's on Star Trek Online right now. I'm on Battlefront in
8 hours.
Warzone for about 8 hours.
Until I realize I need to get something to eat again. Do a couple, verbal commands. Sit down, stop that, that stuff.
Use the God voice.
Get mad when I found out that school's out. There's no more school for the kids, so summer starts now.
Same thing for y'all in Canada. School's out.
It hasn't been announced yet. We're supposed to be starting online on Tuesday. But it depends on the province, but I suspect we're done.
But it doesn't matter.
We're going to follow suit.
We're only in school.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Y'all have a curfew?
Well, my parents, they don't live with me. So I can come and go as I please.
They would like you to be in them by 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you got to be in the crib by 8 o'clock here.
Yeah, actually, the street lights just turned on, guys. I got to go.
So that's basically what I do all day and eat and that's it.
Watch Facebook for paintball content, and then
I don't even
share it.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll check, Facebook. But I try to play as many MMOs as possible because they take up a lot of time. You know what I mean? So Star Trek Online is what I've been playing lately. If you guys know anything about that, it's great.
I never got into Battlefront. I don't know.
Battlefront?
Which genre of Star Trek though?
Star Trek.
Star Trek Online. Yeah. It has all the genres on it.
Okay, so are you a Picard or are you a?
All right, I got a couple profiles. I got a Klingon profile. I have a Discovery profile, and I have a Romulan profile. So those are ones.
I got a Klingon, human, and Jemadar.
Yeah, my Klingon's like a general or some shit.
He's looking like these guys are nerds.
Yeah. So is that why you guys wear hats? Do you guys have like the Klingon forehead mask stuff? Are you gonna have like
wear hats because
I'm glad that he realized that the Klingons were black. But no, that's not why. That's not why we have hats on.
This is something that they usually do in most countries. It's called a hat.
Right.
I didn't know if you're covering up for Comic-Con. You're already dressed as a Klingon.
This is part of my disguise. This is all I needed to fool you guys.
Right. It's like Superman and the glasses. Once we take these hats off, you wouldn't even know who we were.
As soon as I take the hat off, I'll be saying shit like, "Oh, bro." I don't.
What are you guys doing during this quarantine?
Please don't tell me you know any Klingon, please, because if you do, I'm going to disconnect your Zoom call. I please.
Oh, not she fool.
Oh, for the love of.
I don't know any Klingon. I know Korplan. They said that.
I just made that up. It sounds Klingon. It does sound Klingon. You know what I mean? I just be crazy too.
Yeah, you might have to. You might have to wipe off your camera lens after that conversation now.
Right, really. You know
a little moist.
But yeah, that and a couple other videos.
I've been watching a lot of Avenger movies.
Yeah, he's on this Marvel.
I don't know why. Like, I just recently watched the Avengers through Ant-Man's point of view. So I watched Ant-Man, Civil War, Ant-Man 2.
So what, everybody's just taller?
Huh?
So what, everybody's just taller?
It was just a bad joke.
That's that Canadian humor.
That wouldn't fly down here. Yeah. But I do recognize it was a joke.
It's good guy. He's so quick.
He watches this Miss Marvel, man, like 40 times. That's all he always talks about. Like, yeah, I just watched Captain America again and then Winter Soldier. I'm like, all right, seen it. You know, I know it's going to happen. You know, I mean, it was cool the first time I seen it. Right. I just wanted to watch it again.
You can watch movies like Taken and any of the Bourne movies over and over and over again.
I can't watch Taken.
You know, I used to be able to do that, but
who's in Taken?
Star Wars, so I can't watch the last three, but once. I guess.
Who's in Taken, Joe? Which one is
Liam
that?
Liam Neeson.
Right.
It was decent.
I liked him better in 18.
Yes.
That was a terrible movie too.
18 was good.
Okay, well, here's the question: which one's better, Dukes of Hazzard remake or the A-Team remake?
18 remake.
Yeah, I give you that.
18 remake.
Yeah. Okay, that's a horrible question. Any of those remakes just suck.
They all suck.
Just leave it. Just leave it alone. Leave something.
Pet Cemetery remake was job like all right.
It was suck ass.
It was suck ass decent.
Weren't they going to remake The Shining?
They did, and don't watch it.
Okay,
it was part 2. It wasn't a remake.
Yeah, it wasn't a remake.
It wasn't as shiny.
The little boy grows up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Now he's
Are you saying it wasn't as polished, Joe?
No, it wasn't as polished.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't.
You know, I went back to watch the original Shining. I went back to watch the original Shining because I wanted to watch that again before I watched the new one. And that one was kind of like crazy.
Yeah.
I seen it when I was a kid, so you know when you watch it as an adult, you get
when you watch movies when you grow up, they're totally different from what you remember as a kid.
Hence the Crocodile Dundee. It was terrible.
Like Exorcist was a child, I was terrified. When I grew up, she did an ass whooping. That was the whole movie.
Yeah. No. What about Silence of the Lambs?
Okay. Exorcist still scares the shit out of me. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, Exorcist. You know that was such a phenomenal effect on people. Like the way they promoted that movie was crazy. You know, it is just people are passing out. You come to this movie.
Yeah,
you know
well, they said that with Paranormal Activity, and that shit was ass.
Yeah. Hey, Tucker Danielson wants to know if you two guys were the guys in the Top Gun volleyball scene.
No, we weren't.
No.
Those guys weren't tanned enough.
They weren't tanned enough. We were at the next volleyball field, but they didn't pan the camera over.
They pretended like it was video.
Yeah.
You're on the shirts and sweaters teams. Yeah.
Right.
What about if you guys are looking for a series to watch with your kids? I really like the Lemony Snicket's Unfortunate Incident it was so visually appealing, and I loved I thought it was really good. Gavin, you're shaking your head.
I got a good one for you. You want to watch it with your kids? All right, take that Lemony Snicket and throw it out the window.
No.
Lock and Key.
What's the age range?
It is a kid show.
Movie.
It's a kid movie.
You can get up to about maybe 12 and up.
I'll IMDb it.
Yeah. Lock and Key. And that's only because I can't even.
What's the one about the little boy with the superpowers?
Superman, the origin story?
Little black kid. Devin.
Don't watch that. That was annoying.
But he was annoying. But other kids not.
Are you talking Hitch?
Like Little Joaquin loves that show.
I can't remember it was that. But Lock and Key is actually good. It sort of gives you that old school like mystery, and it's a little spooky, but not too spooky. You know what I mean? And like for instance, I'll give you an understanding. There is a little bit sort of like the kid's father gets killed, and they move into his house, and this house comes with these keys, and these keys has a specific principle that it can do. Like they have one key that, like, if you put it in the back of your head and turn it, you can walk into your mind. I know it sounds weird, you know what I'm saying? So like little boy, when he did it, it was like a giant toy chest, and like you're standing there, and you'll be another person. You'll be looking at yourself, but you can walk into your mind. So like you could do things like this. Say I put the key in, and then I opened up the door to my mind. It's a physical door. You know what I'm saying? I can take anybody in there. I could pull out a cube or however my mind is set up, and you can share a memory and shit like that. Or also say if I wanted to know quantum.
That it?
No.
That's called Lock and Key.
No. This is you'll have a little boy at the back of a little boy's head, and there'll be like a key going to the back of his head. All right.
It's on Netflix.
There's no black people in it, actually.
Right.
It's actually just like a few black people in it.
Is that a good thing? You're talking like we want that.
The show he showed was like two brothers look like they were
pistols.
Well, it was called Lock and Key. It's all like they were shooting each other.
Yeah.
But no, say I wanted to learn quantum physics. All I have to do is take the book, put the key in my back of the head. I can walk it, put it in my mind, walk it out, and I know everything about quantum physics. So that's one of the little things that you do. Another door, a key open a door where you could, like, if you walk through the door, your body will be in the spirit realm, and you could visit, ghosts and learn shit. You know what I mean? It's a nice little, but there's a little scary. There's a bad guy. There's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? It's a little mystery to it, this, that, the other.
Little Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I wouldn't even suggest it because I don't watch. I watch everything before I let my kids watch. Yeah. So
speaking of Scooby-Doo,
that's it.
There you go. Do you think when they redid Scooby-Doo, do you think that they played had the right character playing Velma?
They had the right guy playing.
I liked it. I liked the character that they had playing Velma. You know what I mean? But the movie altogether was terrible, but that aspect of it was nice. I liked that.
No,
agreed.
Name any movie, as Gavin said, name any remake that was better than the original.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo
any
movie was
remake
terrible.
that was better than the first one.
I don't think you can.
That was better than the first one?
I also think that, and I'm not a big horror guy, but I also think that some of the old horror movies, like The Shining and some of the true horror movies, are still scarier than some of the new ones today.
No, I don't. I do.
They were slower. They were slower played into. They were. You know what I mean?
Mental game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of suspense.
Yeah.
This might not count, but a remake that I believe was better than the first one, The Thing.
Agreed. I think so.
I didn't. And even the one that came after The Thing was good too.
Which one?
The Other Thing.
When they show what happened before Kurt Russell's thing took place. What other thing I'm talking about?
No, I'm talking about Kurt Russell's thing.
All right, then they made one where they show what happened before.
That's right.
See that one.
Dread.
The remake of Dread
was way much better than Stallone.
I hate the Stallone Dread. I hated it. It's terrible.
Adrian!
Dread, when that came out, if you guys had never seen Dread, you know what I mean?
Mike Holstrom says, what about Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
With the female cast? I never saw it.
Yeah. I don't think it was better. I think it was just modernized. The old Ocean 11 was good also, if you remember, for its time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The con game.
Well, just like the Ghostbuster thing too, right? With all the female casts.
That's terrible.
That was a great idea.
I thought it was horrible.
They're supposed to be remaking that again. Total Recall was ass.
They're not remaking the Ghostbusters. They're like making a sequel as the kids. They find their parent. They find like Egan's dad, and they're all old as their kids or their grandkids, and they find their Ecto-1 and all the tools. So the Ghostbusters now are going to be like
kids,
12-year-olds.
What about Stranger Things? Did you get through those with your kids?
I do like Stranger. My kids love Stranger Things.
Never watched
excellent show. I thought it might. It was a little dark. You know what I'm saying? Little boy is throwing up motherfucking slugs and whatnot. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? My youngest is on some old, and my like second oldest, whenever something jumps off, she just gets up and walks out the room, pretends like she's getting a glass of water or something. I'm like, where you going? Oh, I gotta go to the
How did y'all like the new Star Wars?
Never watched it.
I didn't watch it yet.
You didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss nothing.
But I thought, like, Joe, your kids like Star Wars. Weren't they good?
I think they liked the last one better than the previous one to that, but it sort of got a little bit, I don't want to say sci-fi because the whole thing is sci-fi, but
a little cheesy.
A little bit with extraterrestrial or whatever. I don't know.
But you know what? Force. I figured it out what the deal was with Star Wars, and the reason why so many people are disappointed is because we watched it. They made Star Wars to cater to the kids of that generation. You know what I mean? Like, you can definitely tell that we're different than our children now. Our children now are basically useless. Basically useless. They want everything now. They
non-essential.
Absolutely no work at all. And like with our generation, like the first Star Wars, you know what I mean? Everything there had to be a cause and an effect.
It was serious. Star Wars was a serious movie.
And then when you came out with the the second group of generation,
the
sort of like Ewoks. But the Ewoks was cool for what the kids were into at that time. That's when the Smurfs were out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A Snorkel. And then this generation is such a big disappointment to us. The generation of work and you'll get something back for it. The young generation, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Well, lightsaber, so she just appeared behind her back. Why not? That's where she wants to get it.
This generation is very console based. Like your 12 to probably 22-year-old are pretty console. My 10-year-old does less gaming than my 14-year-old, but
really?
See what happens. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's usually a circle effect. Everybody will start being console, then over LPs are coming back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's always going to be a retro effect. It's going to spin around. So I had to wrap my head around that. So I wouldn't be so disappointed. I had to look at it from a different perspective.
But seeing how you guys can see into the future, that shouldn't be any surprise to you.
No, we don't see into the future. We just know certain events is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, if I sent you back in time, all right, and we'll just say the 1800s and shit, and you knew that someone's going to be assassinated, would you know exactly the time and when? No, because you haven't been there. You know what I'm saying? You got to let it play out. You know it's going to happen, but you don't know exactly when it's going to happen. You feel me? You've seen a whole bunch of movies like that.
Sure. Watch Predestination.
So here's the question.
And you don't want to interfere with it because the butterfly effect, right? You just got to let it play out.
Exactly.
Do you really want to know what the future from the future means, honestly? All right.
They got quiet.
I'm about to get deep. Okay. Ready? All right.
We're ready.
This is what it means that we're from the future. Okay. And all you little kiddies, get your notebook out there because you might be able to use this. All right. Most of us are from the past. What that means is everything, all your greatest accomplishments and everything that you think that makes you great is from something that you have done a long time ago. All right. Whether it been 5 seconds ago or 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago. When you start being from the future, you start thinking toward the future. So think of it like this. All right. I'll use somebody that everybody knows, like the Wright brothers. Okay. Now at their time, they were from the future. Even though they were standing in the present, their thought pattern was to the point where they had the ability to create an airplane. Now at the time, that was ludicrous. Everybody was like, men aren't even allowed to fly. You know what I'm saying? If we were supposed to fly, would we have rings? But these guys were from the future, not physically, but mentally. They were able to see what was supposed to be before it even happened and then manifested in the present.
futuristic.
That's what it means, like we're from the future. And if you just pay attention to what's going on around you, like we just said, just about, your kids are starting to be off the game. Time just constantly goes in a circle. So you can look into the future and see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're from the future.
So what's the next big innovation in paintball?
Big innovation in paintball?
MagFed.
Advertisement.
See,
you guys are in the past.
No,
that's the future.
That's the future.
See how that works?
Oh, we gotta go this way.
Share more with your theory or your vision of the future with advertisement.
Well, all right. Well,
you can't give you got to watch the show.
Yeah.
Do you
Get your numbers?
Watch the show.
Gotta watch the show.
So what are you guys doing to, like, have you picked up a paintball gun lately? Have you been able to do anything? I know we're all self-isolating, but do you have...
basically, outside of the living in the future Star Trek style, I've been actually living in the future in the paintball world, and I'm continually trying to build something. So, I'm trying to plant seeds for everybody to, come up, because
be known.
Yeah, it's not just the player; it's the fields. There's a million fields everywhere. But nobody knows about them. So the future really in paintball is advertisement. So
there's a global initiative, an industry-wide initiative right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it from GI, but GI shared it, Vulcan shared it, Eclipse has shared it, DICE shared it today. It's called #PaintballStrong. So I got that email. You guys get that email, and it's going to come out very soon, and there's like a whole weekly calendar. Monday is the great day of gratitude. Tuesday is the day of talk. Wednesday, what's in the news. Thursday, it's old school highlights. Fridays, it's fun Fridays. Saturdays, tournament. Sundays, scenario magfed. You're supposed to share a paintball story that goes along that theme every day, and then tag #PaintballStrong or #PBStrong with your field and stuff. And we're supposed to develop an initiative so paintball is in the forefront in people's minds when this COVID thing lets up and ends, if it ends, which it will at some point. But then paintball will be in the minds. We're going to win through this global initiative or industry-wide initiative. We're going to win the hearts and minds of not only the paintball consumers, but also the consumers that are going to be looking for something fun and exciting to do. They're out of the house.
Right.
So this will hopefully tap in, but we're going to not, by me sharing on Flag Raiders Instagram and Flag Raiders Facebook, my normal group of friends see it. Likewise with you, we're going to have to dig deep into our favorite circles, and we're going to have to get our wives, girlfriends, partners, cousins, neighbors to share stuff so it goes. The spider web effect goes to different people, much like the Heather Locklear commercial from the 90s. I told someone, and so on and so on and so on. That's the future, brother.
That's a start of the future. Okay, paintball needs to be marketed all together differently.
It does.
It does. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the way people, as a good friend of mine, Greg Hastings said, people are trying to do things that.
What's going